Today we'll be teaching you how to make a proper cup of loose leaf tea. Now, a lot of you don't actually know what loose leaf tea is. You hear tea and you think of that stuff that comes in the bags, right? Lipton, maybe? Well, this is all great and all, and you can make pretty decent tea with it. But if you don't allow the tea to expand, which it doesn't give you the room, you'll never get the true flavor of tea unlocked. So, out with the tea bags, and in with something a little bit new. Today we'll be using 3 different teas that you can get pretty much anywhere, at a Tom Thumbs, Walmart, Kroger. Any place where they sell coffee, they will sell loose leaf tea as well. The first tea is a jade green tea. If my assistant will show that to you.
Yes.
And the next tea is a spiced green tea. Yes. That I've gotten offline. And the third tea is a dark black tea called Darjeeling, which hails from India. Very good, goes very nice with milk. So the first thing you want to do when making a good cup of tea is you're going to select your tea types. Those are the tea types I'm using. You can find pretty much anything under the sun from jasmine to apricot at your local grocery store. So once you have your tea flavors chosen, you're going to need to look up the proper temperatures, time, and amount you need to cook with. Okay. So after you find out the necessary water temperature and how long you need to brew your certain tea, you're going to need to think about what you're going to heat your water in. A lot of people think microwaving their water is going to work. It's just not going to. It heats the water too high, and you really can't just determine the temperature it's going to be once you get it out of the microwave. So there are lots of options you have in heating water. You have electric kettles, which are pretty awesome. A lot of times they're programmable to the actual heat you need for your certain teas. You have regular kettles, which are the old school, but they work awesome because old school is awesome. And then you have the saucepan. It's not really intended for this purpose, and it'll take longer to do the job, but it will work just the same. The intention is boiling the water, and pretty much anything can do that. Okay, so we're going to be using all 3 of those previously mentioned options today because I'm trying to make tea for 12 people. It's a big, hefty task, but we can do it. Okay, so I'm going to put these on to heat, and I'll see you after the break. Okay, so over the time lapse, you saw me filling up these pots with hot water. This was not actually making tea. This is what we call warming the pots. Warming the pot's really important because you want the water as close to the temperature that you are going to measure it at as possible. Okay, so I'm going to have Peter empty the pots.
Yes.
And the next step is to measure out the amount of tea I'm going to need for each. In general, the rule is 1 teaspoon for the pot itself and an extra teaspoon for every additional person you're going to have drinking out of that pot. I have 4 pots and 12 people, so I'm going to do 5 per pot. Okay? Pots are super warm right now. Awesome. This is great. Actually, we use the big one for the Darjeeling, and I'm going to use this one for the jade. So after you've added the correct amount of tea to your pot, you're going to turn off your heat, allow your boiling water to cool a little bit, because you don't want to make tea with boiling water. I mean, black teas, that's okay, but green teas, it's usually want to have the temperature be around 175 degrees. So I'm going to check the temperature on at least one of my pots. This one. See if it's the right temperature. We're getting 195 at this one, which is the perfect temperature for black tea. This one still needs to cool off a little bit more. And I'm getting 175. Perfect. You're next going to want to pour your teas into your hot water into your pots and fill them to where the tea is floating and the pot is about mostly filled. Okay, so I've officially waited 3 minutes for these guys to sit, which is for green tea and black tea the proper time. Mm-hmm. So, I'm ready to pour. Since I put all of these straight into the pot loose leaf without a filter in it, I'm going to go ahead and use a filter whenever I'm pouring it out. I'm going to pour a couple of green teacups and a lot of black teas. So, that's just to catch any of the extra leaves that pour out, or any of the stuff that pours out. Okay, so the final step is to add milk, sugar, honey, lemon, anything you want to your tea to your enjoyment, and enjoy with your friends.
Good job.